Okay, welcome. I'm going to show a extremely easy way to use Photoshop on a stacked astrophotography session photo. So let me open that up here and in Photoshop. Okay, this is the photo now. The first step I'm going to do, it's a very, very simple few steps. Now, again, what I'm going to show you is the simplest possible way to complete a picture uh, that you have stacked a group of pictures. In this case, it was a group of FITS files and that I had taken with my telescope and dedicated astronomy camera. And now I'm going to open these up. I'm going to say up here, I'm going to go to image and mode, and I'm going to 16 bits per channel. Okay, now watch this. Here we're going to have the toning, HDR toning. Now, if that doesn't appear on your screen, you go to image and adjustments and then down, and you scroll down and you can find HDR toning. And then I have chosen local adaptation. Now, this is a nebula. It is the North America Nebula. And what I'm going to show here is tone and detail. We're going to take the gamma over slightly this way. We're going to put the exposure at where it is, and we're going to show some detail. Now watch how this detail really, really comes into play. Check that out by moving this over. Now we don't quite want 300%, I don't think. Let's back her down to about maybe 170, 180% to start with, maybe 150%. Let's try that right there, 150%. This vibrance up just slightly, maybe up to 35, 40%. Saturation up again, maybe 30, 35%, which gives us more of the color. Actually gives us a more intense color. Okay, so this is it. So just with a few simple sliders, we have a picture that is beginning to really look good. All right, so now we'll say okay for that. Now I'm going to go up here to view and fit on screen so we can see more of this. So we're going to come in now and we're going to start doing some stretching. Image adjustments, curves. I'm going to go grab this about right here for RGB to start with. Pull it up just a slight bit. Don't overdo this. Something like that. We're going to come around to image, adjustments, levels, and we're going to play the levels curves game. We pull this side over. Try about maybe 15 or so to start with. You notice this comes right along with it, so we don't want to bother these at all. We just want them to stay even. All right, so we're going to say okay with the levels here. We're going to go back to curves one more time. Curves, adjustments, and curves. And we're going to pull this up just a hair more, about right here. Not much. Again, we're not going to overdo this. Maybe something like that is about all we're going to need. Okay? And then we're going to come to image adjustments and levels again. We're going to pull this left slider over. See how that darkens space and also gives us more contrast. You see how that simple movement darkens space and gives us more contrast. Now we don't want to go all the way over here because it starts to look posterized. We don't want a posterized look. We want it to look natural. So we want to stay out here, and the rule of thumb is to stay outside of the function as it climbs positive. You see what I'm saying there? See how the function is climbing positive? We want to stay in front of that, right about maybe 10 or 11. Let's try 11. Okay. Now you notice we've got some pretty good shadowing going on here. We've got a lot of detail coming out. Space really looks nice in here, but we've got a little bit of fuzziness out here. Sort of a greenish fuzziness. You see that? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do one lasso, and we're going to come up here with the lasso tool. We have to be really careful with the lasso. and we're going to grab the lasso. We're going to come up here to let's make it about maybe 250 pixels. Let's see what that does. Let's make it about 400 pixels. Pretty broad here. We're going to lasso this, and what we're going to try to do is get rid of some of this fuzziness here. We just want to kind of draw it down to where we see the fuzziness, like this, okay? And then we're going to come up to Image, Adjustments, and we're going to do Curves. And it looks greenish to me, so we're going to pick green, okay? Now we're going to come down here, and we're going to pull this downward, say, down. Now we don't want to pull it too far down, like this, because it's going to really maybe look too dark, okay? We want to try to keep it even. So we'll come up maybe something like that right there. Looks pretty nice to me. So let's keep it right there. We say select and deselect to get rid of that. Now that takes away a little bit of the content of the fuzziness, the grayish fuzziness, which we still have up here. And I think we're going to have to live with that for right now. We might do one more. This is maybe going out on a limb, but we're going to try to pull one around like this, okay? Right at the top here. All right, I'm going to go to Image, Adjustments, and Curves. And we're going to try to see if we just reduce this a slight bit, if that looks a little nicer. And actually, it doesn't really do the nebula justice, because it is getting reducing that. You see that top part of the nebula, so I really don't like that. So I'm going to choose to not change this. Okay, we're going to cancel it. I'm going to come up here and say select and deselect to get rid of the lasso. Okay, so in a few simple steps, we have really changed this into a very nice picture. We're going to do one more thing. We're going to come up here to the image adjustments, and we're going to go to, we're going to go to filter, camera raw filter, okay? Filter, camera raw filter. Come over here and let this open up. Now, this is really a key, very key. We want to open up the detail tab, you see here, and we're going to do a little sharpening, take it up to maybe this much, do just a little bit of noise reduction. You see, we'll pull the slider over off of 0, and these detail and contrast sliders appear. Now we're gonna do some detail. Now, if you can see how much this detail affects this, so watch this come right on over here. We'll pull all the way over. That's possibly too much because we're getting sort of a fuzzing out. We're seeing kind of a sandy look at the top there, and I don't like that so much, so we're not going to detail it that much. Go to contrast, and we move the contrast over all the way. It's tempting to want to do this, but I think we're gonna back it down just a little. You notice how beautiful this is looking right in here. Just amazing three-dimensionality there with this contrast. Now the color noise reduction is something we have to be careful, because watch what happens when we use it. Say we come on over here with color noise reduction, and what it will do is it tends to make the picture a little fuzzier looking. Now, what we want to make sure of here is go down here to the color mixer, and we're going to see if indeed we're really doing some reds here. You see, some people like more reds. You can see with the reds, it really makes the top portions of this very nice. When we put it all the way over, we may not want to go all the way over. You see, we go this way, it looks more yellow, so maybe something like that. And the same way with the oranges. And you can play with this back and forth, and whatever your eye likes to see, go with that. See how easy this is. These sliders are so powerful. I'm going to leave all these alone. Maybe we've got just a little too much red in there. Back it down just a little. Let's look at the green too, because the green will make kind of a brownish glow. Maybe we want something more like that. Okay. I'm going to say okay with this. All right, just in a few clicks, very simple process, we have created quite a fine looking output. So that's it for this segment. Thanks for watching.